All right, last stream, our power went out, so it just kind of abruptly ended. But it's okay because I figured some stuff out right afterwards, and we're just gonna hop back in and see if we can continue with our ball dissolving. So the last thing that ended up happening was, I mean, it kind of looked like it was working really nice. But I had some UV issues, and I still have some UV issues. I have an idea on what I can do to fix it, but as always, let's just open up where we left off. So one issue I had was I thought that the lighting should have been more. Oh, this looks weird. I thought that the lighting should match the rest of the lighting. Like, this is more of a tune ball, but I just couldn't figure out how to get my material to turn invisible. So let's just look at the erosion part. Um, you can see the UV seam. I want to fix that. So that's what I have an idea of on how to fix the UV seam. Um, but I still don't see the glowing light. So I fixed some stuff off the air, and I merged it back into my master branch, and I'm just trying to figure out why it still doesn't look right. So let's just stop this timeline and inspect. So let me open my material, go to my mesh render. Ah, looks nice there. Oh, you know what? It probably has to compile because I'm not checking in the compiled versions. I'm only checking in the source. So what I did was I put this back to lit. Um, so it's back on lit, and I figured out some more math down here. I got rid. So now this little section down here is defining um, the the opacity mask. So this is like the event horizon of where I'm gonna see, the edge of the ball as it twiddles down. And I linked it now. So now it's a function of the edge crispiness. Now this is the light that shines on the edge of the, disappearing ball. So now as the erosion factor changes, hmm. So as the erosion factor changes, this does not change. Well, let's just see. Let's just see how it's gonna look. Um, let's open up our instance. Where is it? Basketball tune dissolve instance. So we can play with it for a little bit. There. So now this is kind of looking like I want. So it kind of starts melting away, and then the edge glows, but then the edge follows it and grows a little bit until it completely erases it. So this is what I want to happen. Now, what I want to fix is you can see this seam here. So I think there's got to be a way that I can, instead of following the UVs, if I can just follow a coordinate, like, or an axis. Like, I want to go down like this instead of using the UVs. So I'm going to play around with that for a little bit. But I really like that though. Now, why is it not working um in my erosion here? So here's my mat. Got my mesh, my mat, my parameters. Ah, this looks incorrect. So let's see what we got over here. So we want it to start at about, yeah, 1.2, and then it goes down to 0. I guess that's good. Down to 0. It's fine. 1.2 down to 0. And it looks like that's exactly what we have. 1.2 down to 0. Our edge size stays the same at negative 0.84. And over here, it's close enough. 0.76. Oh, wait, no. 0.4. Edge crispiness is negative 0.76. Okay, pretty close. But let's change it just to be more accurate. Negative 0.76. Um, apply, compile. Good to go? Okay. Why do not see the light? Hmm. I feel like, oh, okay. Maybe it just didn't take. I don't know. Now let's play. Mm, it's still a little bit different. Why is that yellow not staying all the way down to the bottom? They put it back on the material itself. And okay, so I'm overriding the material to make it this dissolve. But what that means is I want my regular material. Okay, that's fine. Let's take a look at what our non-tuned version of our basketball looks like. Wow, that looks great. Um, I'm thinking this is just not exact. Oh, wait, what? Hmm? This looks good. Something's weird. Well, I don't think this is not the one that I need to be using. All right. So anyway, the point is all our basketballs do not have that dissolvey material. This is just a very simple basketball, and it's unlit. Very interesting. What if I make it lit? See, the problem is I think that might be an issue. Oh, so the particle effect is lit, but the basketball itself was unlit, and maybe that was causing the flickering. I'm not quite sure. So let's test it out. So we have our now it's a misnomer. Basketball tune mat is just a basketball, which is fine. Um, Now here's our dissolve ball, which is also unlit. Um, and for some reason, I'm still not seeing. You know what it could be? The instance, which is working correctly. Let's take a look at the instance here. This one does look like it's working with as it's glowing. Maybe the parameters just aren't matched up right. So we have a param. Ah, okay. I added an extra param of negative 1.06. Now this extra param, um, which I should probably name, is the size of the rim of light. Now this is going to change with depending on how far our opacity has gone. So like for instance, let's say that I'm down here. The rim probably needs to be smaller. So you see how I could change this to affect the size of the rim. So that means that this should change as a function of this. All right. So as this increases, this increases. Let's see, make this go up higher. This one goes up higher. Oh, no. Yep, this one goes up higher. So there's some function here that I don't know yet, but I have to solve for it. Well, I do know because I did this offline. But the function that I got came out to be negative 1.064 multiplied by the edge crispiness and subtracting out. Yeah, I don't even remember how I got this, but I don't even know if it's right. But I just played with it until I got something good. And I opened my calculator and basically I took this negative 0.76. Um, I found out where I found a couple solutions basically. Like for instance, at 0.91 um, and negative 0.8, it looked good. And I know that at at 0.58 and negative 1.81, it looked good. So I solved for both of those to see what do I have to multiply this by to get that. Now, it's not linear exactly. So it's not going to be an exact, mapping. It's probably some kind of curve. but I don't need it to be perfect. I just need it to like look good for 0.75 seconds, Um, so now that I kind of explained how I got to that, what I still don't understand is why my instance is working. What did I have this set at? Negative -0.8? Is that what I had it set at? No. I believe it was negative 1.06. It's pretty good. I think that's what it was at. But in any case, why is this working? Let's apply this. Let's take a look at our oh, there we go. It's recompiling. Maybe that was the issue. Who knows? No, it's still not working. Why is this not lighting up yellow? I can even see it here. Uh, where is the... All right, edge size. Do I have my second parameter set? See, this is my erosion factor, edge size. My erosion factor is, oh, my edge size is 0. Maybe that's it. Okay, maybe that was it. Let's not override my edge size. That looks incorrect still, but let's see. We have 0, and then we have edge crispiness of 0.76. Let's make sure that that's what this says. Negative 0.76, and a param of negative 1.064. Okay, that looks good. Come on. And see, at no point is it all yellow. That's incorrect. Let's see. What do we have here with our. I'm going to play. We want it to loop once. And it shouldn't be 5 seconds. It should be like 3, if that. There should be one thing. It spawns in the beginning. Let's see. All this looks good. Lifetime should be the full length. Hmm. Okay, so I'm thinking I have an idea. So this parameter here is feels like it's wrong, but it's not wrong over here. And why is that? It- Now, if I allow this parameter be controlled through my dynamic parameter, this is negative 1.6. What if I disconnect this and I make this my, what do we want to call it? This is our, let's say this is our light rim size. And by default, it'll be negative 1.06. And let's feed that into here. Now, since we'll be able to control this through the particle, I don't think we'll need to make it a function of the crispiness anymore. I don't know. We're going to leave this hanging around. It's not doing anything yet, but um, let's just see if our tune still does, if our instance still works like it used to. See, now we're not going to have the ability to set. See, this isn't tied to anything anymore. That's what we basically did. But all right, now you can see we have the same issue we had. Same issue. But we want to override this. This is one negative 0.06. How does this affect? Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. We can't tweak these anymore now that the dynamic parameters. But we can tweak it over here. Where are we at? Here. So now we have this light rim size. and we can F with it. So at this point, when it's all like, we should not have all this light. So let's change this light rim size. Uh, 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 see? -74. All right. Now, how does that? Oh, 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 oh! There it goes. Perfect. Except for the UV seams. But this is so good. It needs to start closed though. And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We'll fix that. That just means at time 0, this needs to be different. That's good. Okay. Time 0, make this negative. I don't know. I don't fucking know. But I know we need to change it. Let's make it a higher number. 1.5. Looks like it's it. Now it goes from 1.5 down to 0. Oh my gosh. And it looks like it gets to 0 at 1.5 seconds. Is that like a coincidence? I don't know. So all of this extra, it doesn't take 3 seconds. It takes 1.5 seconds. Oh wait, that's not coincidence. It's because no, time is 1. Very strange. Hold on, let's fit this graph so I can see it better. At 0 to 1. Duration, we'll make this 1.55. Okay, takes 1.5 seconds. The life cycle particle lifetime 1.55. Okay, so that's weird. So all right, so it's not that. It's just that at half the lifetime it's disappeared. Very strange. So, okay. So maybe that means that we have to double the time? I don't know. Let's see. So this will be at time 2. It looks like that worked. That's it. That's goddamn it. All right, now let's play it and see what happens. Now, one thing we can do to make this a little easier to work with is we could parameterize these values in the top of the system. So instead of tweaking all these things, we can just say like, total time is something, and it will go and automatically set all the rest of these values. But I don't really care about that now. I just want to get this working. Whoa. All right. I'm very pleased. So now let's combine this with the particles. Let's save this. We're going to save it. And let's look at the full thing, right? So, let's turn off these stupid particles first. The erosion is incorrect. I don't really want to override anything, so I'm just going to delete this. And we're going to just re-add it in. Make sure it's all set back to default. So this is Erose, dissolve ball erosion emitter. There we go. And now we combine it with, oh, I hate that seam. We got to fix that next. Or we can just look at it from this angle. That works. So let's put this back in. And now the particles aren't doing anything. But that's cool. We'll fix that. Um, so let's see. First, let's turn off this. All right. Whoa, weird. I like that little curl it does. Now, why do I not see them combined when I... And why is it so flat, flishy flashy? I don't like that. Um, all right, let's... It's so weird. All right, let's just take a look at these individually, all right? So, um, spawn burst. I'm making 10,000 dots instantly. Uh-huh. Okay. I'm all right. They can last a maximum of 3 seconds. I don't hate that. I want it, I want the particles to stick around even after that the ball disappears. Um, the particle colors I initially set. Okay. How big of a particle burst I want. Let's make it smaller for now, just until we figure this out. This really should be the exact size of the ball, but we'll put that in there. Why? Why don't I see a burst of particles anymore? And why is it flashing like that? There's just so many things I don't understand. All right. Let's get rid of no. Let's get rid of this. Why did this just change colors? All right. Um, and now let me add my dissolve ball particles. I see. I don't know. It seems just like a weird error. All right, but that's not exactly how I want it to look. I want it to look a little cooler than that. All right, so one. What? Is that the right size? Let's see. How many do we have? Minimum 0.2, maximum. I still want this to be 3 seconds. The sprite size 1 and 1.7, maybe a little bigger. Maybe 1 to 3. Is that gonna be too big? No, but I like a variety of size of particles. That's pretty cool. We don't have that curl force anymore. Sphere location, 25 radius. It seems like it's about right. Maybe I don't want it to spawn burst instantly at 0. Maybe it should be at like 0.25 at 1. No, 0.35. That'll give it some time to start melting before all the particles appear. Yeah, I like that better. The curl force noise, I want this to change in like as time moves on. So I'm gonna remove this. Oh, it didn't let me. Why? Oh, that's right. I inherited it from the parent. I should be doing this in the parent. What am I even doing here? Mm, maybe I could leave it here and then add it. Let's move it up. Now let's change this curl force noise as time goes on. All right. So let's see. What do I want to increase? The strength? Let's increase the strength. So let's do a curve. And the strength will be 1 at time 0. And at the end, which is going to be like 3 seconds. So the time is 3 seconds. I want it to be 500. But I want it to, maybe that's too much, but I do want it to be nonlinear. So let's set this to user and then I will configure it. So I want it to maybe start speeding up as it gets towards the end. Let's like this. Do I see it doing anything crazy anymore? Oh wait. Hmm. I feel like it's definitely not as crazy now. Why? Maybe just 2.5. And what about the frequency? What if this is a 0.02? Yeah, now we got a little twisty curly in there. It's pretty cool. I think the gravity needs to be tweaked. I want it at time 2.5 to reach a higher value, maybe 120. That's not fun. 300. Let's fit this curve. It's hard for me to tell what's going on. I don't like. I don't like how it was linear or how it was like that 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 in and out. I didn't like the in and out curve. So maybe it's just at 2 seconds. I don't think it's even starting off with enough force. Maybe give this 70. That's too much. 50. Okay. What else don't I like? I think that the curl noise force needs to be higher in the beginning. Too much. Hmm. I kind of like it. I feel like it needs more particles towards the bottom of it. I don't know. Maybe some of them need to be larger. Let's go to the initialized particle. Maybe some need to be like 3.5. That's the other weird thing too. I'm randomizing X and Y. So it's possible for some to be really long and skinny, and I don't like that. Maybe the problem is this uniform ranged vector. Like what I want is this to be randomized and this to equal that. Is there a way for me to say like 3.5 and then this one to be like whatever that one was? I don't know, but this is probably good enough for now. And I really, really dislike obsessing over all that. So now let's see what it looks like when I'm using it. Now, we're still going to get that flashy crap. I don't know. So we save that. Let's close this up. Let's close this up. We don't need this instance open. We don't need the mesh open. We may need... No, we're not really doing anything here. Except we made this ball not a tune anymore. I'm worried about how that's going to look. Let's open up a controller. And try it out. Um, so you notice that these balls don't have that glowy artifact that was there before. But now let's see how these... It works. I want to see it. Oh. Okay, it happens once. It doesn't happen a million times anymore. Still got a little flashy. So now what we need to do is fix how it actually looks when it's dissolving in game. And fix that flashy shit. So I need to know why it's flashing. So one way would be to just remove things until I stop seeing the flash. Whoa. Okay, so, and it also made me realize, now that I'm not using that tune, now I'm using actual lighting to light this. And the problem with that is there's not enough light over there, and that's why it turns black. So, you know what? I'm very curious. What will this look like if I change my balls to be unlit? But the dissolving portion is lit. Let me just see what that does. So really, it's gonna like change the look of the ball in mid. Actually, what am I thinking? The ball is a meteor, not this ball. All right, so see now that they're tune balls, they're not dark in the corner. You see, they're perfectly fine. But they're tune balls. Same thing I need to do to these tickets, apparently. But see how it turns into a normal ball? That's incorrect. So I gotta fix that. I guess I could do that on my next stream. Let me just see what that would take. So now I have my basketball tune dissolve, but I need my meteor tune. What is this? New ones, better new ones. I don't know. A meteor ball. Why? Oh, why is my meteor material not here? Meteor mat. This is what I need to dissolve. So for one, I don't want to modify this one. I want to make a copy of this. Call it Meteor Dissolve Mat. So I will switch over. When I spawn this particle, I'll switch over to this material. And what I'll need to do is the same thing I did with my basketball, but instead with this, which is going to be let's see. What if I make it lit? And base color goes in here. What if I remove this from emissive? Definitely not as cool. But I'm going to need to create this opacity. So we need to make it masked. And I need to implement a very similar erosion thing. So I did like everything the same, just like that. Bring that over here. So we have the same kind of thing going on. Um, we want it to still erode in the same way. So we would take this down here. This is all of the opacity. And we have our light rim size going into the multiply. So this goes into there. Now, we're definitely to see what's going on, because I have no idea. Um, we're going to need to make an instance. Wait for it to compile. Hmm. Now, also to play around with it, we're going to need to make some of these parameters. Like, for instance, none of these, we can't tweak any of these. In the instance. We can only tweak them as, but that's fine. Okay, okay, okay. So we shouldn't need to tweak them. They're already created. We made them already in our recall dissolve. So let's go into our erosion. Now, what we need to do is change this to the meteor dissolve. Okay, so it doesn't do anything. But this is essentially what we're going to have to be fixing. Yeah, it would be crazy if it just worked instantly. It shouldn't just work. I got to figure out how to combine these two. But let's see, the opacity mask isn't changing at all. So let's see what we got here. So the opacity mask needs to be operating on the light rim and the base color itself. And it looks like it's not. So if we come here, here's the base color. You gotta multiply it by that same. Okay. So this gradient needs to be multiplied up here. This is probably going to take a little bit longer than the time I have. But let's just see what. Okay. So something looks a little different. Let's wait for it to compile over here. Okay. I mean, we're getting closer. Still definitely not there yet. Um, but yeah, so we are just going to be finishing this up next time. And then I promise next time we are going to fix this UV seam, which makes me want to poop. It's so bad. Oh, come on. All right, we're going to fix that too. Um, Man, visual effects just take so much time, but they're just so important and they look so cool, and I need to make sure I get it right. Um, and hopefully, this just doesn't. People probably try to do visual effects and they like, wow, I suck, and they just stop, or maybe they don't. They're like, what am I doing wrong? I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I think they just take a lot of work. And this is not uncommon, taking days to do this. So if you learn anything, it's that you're just as bad as me. I don't know if that's a good thing or it's a bad thing.